nice. Hello! Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Ninja Coffee, where we
kick ass and chew bubble gum.
Where we have geeky conversations and drink coffee.
Yeah, that's it.
Very nice. So, today I have Pål-Christian with me, and we are gonna jump into the huge mess that is DC and Warner Brothers right now. And we did try to do this video before and this is our third try, isn't it?
Yeah, this is our at least third try recording this video. We have actually finished the video at least two times. But like The Flash, the news around Ezra Miller escalates so quickly
we can't keep up.
By the time we are going to post the videos, they are already outdated.
And there's something crazy new going on.
So, with already finished videos, we have had to cancel, just like Batgirl.
Scrapped and cancelled and in the bin. Okay, so we are gonna try to do this once again, and we have to get this out there immediately, or this will be outdated as well. So I'm gonna try to post this tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's been a lot of fuss with Warner Brothers, with DC, with the upcoming movies getting cancelled like Batgirl.
Mm-hmm.
And movies that we still don't know if will come out, how they will be once they're out, like Flash and some other upcoming movies that we know are coming. But we want to go a little bit further back and start kind of where the problems all began and how we are where we are now, what led to this. So, where do you want to start us off, Paul?
Okay, so we can go back to the beginning of DCEU, which started with Man of Steel back in 2013.
Was it that late?
It was that late.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, because the Nolan movies were finished.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the DCEU and what was the motivation behind DCEU?
The DCEU is DC's movie universe trying to compete with Marvel's cinematic universe.
Mm-hmm.
The first movie wasn't it wasn't meant to be a cinematic universe. It was Man of Steel was made as a standalone or at least its own universe.
And it was supposed to spawn a sequel as well, a Man of Steel 2.
It was supposed to spawn off a Man of Steel 2. But they also were kind of like, we will release this movie, see where it leads. And so they had the door open for a cinematic universe. Yeah. There were a couple of Easter eggs like Wayne Enterprise logos. But they wanted to see where this movie led. So with the mixed reviews, but still
positive,
it made money.
Yeah.
So they figured, okay, we're moving on. And when they were supposed to announce Man of Steel 2, Zack Snyder at Comic-Con opened with a line from The Dark Knight Returns, which made fans realize immediately that
do you remember the line?
I don't remember the line,
okay.
But okay, we're getting Batman in Man of Steel 2.
Yeah.
But it turned out it wasn't Man of Steel 2. It was Batman v Superman. Dawn of Justice. This is where everything started to go wrong, because for some reason they greenlit the movie, But during production, WB started losing faith in this dark universe. They saw that
already.
Like, after Man of Steel, they already started realizing that.
Can we put the blame on, or not the blame, but like, is this is directly connected to the tone of the Marvel movies?
Yes.
And their success.
Yeah. So this led to WB cutting 30 minutes out of Batman v Superman.
They cut 30 minutes. That's much.
30 minutes.
Oh, 3 minutes.
30.
30 minutes.
Yes.
Okay, 30 minutes.
So already there they started losing faith in Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
And
well, Zack Snyder had a plan.
Zack Snyder had a plan. Batman v Superman. It was released again to mixed reviews.
Very mixed reviews.
Yeah. Some hailed it as one of the best superhero movies ever made, and others just hated the movie. If they had released the original cut, I think there would be more positive reviews.
I totally agree. I didn't know it was 30 minutes in the extended cut, but the extended cut fixes the movie a lot.
Yeah, there's still a couple of plot holes, but still
a very wrong casting on Lex Luthor, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But we don't need to go into all of that. We have a lot of other stuff we're going to go into. So, yeah, but the extended cut shows more of his vision as well.
Yeah. And it explains more about why Superman doesn't trust the bats and why Batman doesn't like Superman.
And it takes longer time, and there's a lot of more stuff that happens.
So it explains why it's so easy for Lex to
manipulate
them against each others. And also there's the whole Save Martha scene, but
we can talk about that once we talk about Batman versus Superman in another video. In another video.
Let's skip that now.
Yeah. I know we both have some thoughts about that.
Yeah.
We'll stay tuned for an upcoming video.
Yeah. Right. So they already started losing faith in Zack Snyder. We'll just skip the next couple of movies, Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
By the time they started production on Justice League.
We can just say the Suicide Squad flopped, and the Wonder Woman movie did okay in the box office. Yeah. Just so you guys are a bit on top of what's going on here. Yeah. If the Wonder Woman movie had also flopped totally, I don't think they might have. Maybe they would have just scrapped everything.
Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah. Okay.
It was still pretty early on, so...
Yeah. Didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
So during the production of Justice League, Zack Snyder lost his daughter to suicide. And this forced Snyder to leave the movie. Almost completed. But still, Warner Brothers felt that
they wanted to change things up.
They could change the movie. And enter Joss Whedon, who had a lot of success with Avengers.
Yeah.
So it seemed natural that he could be the saving grace of DC as well. But he started reshooting a lot of the movie. Scenes with Superman, with the famous CGI mustache.
Yeah. And also the tone. You had all these funny jokes that just didn't make sense if you'd seen the previous movies. If you'd seen Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman, they didn't crack jokes and like have the Marvel lighthearted way of behaving.
No.
They were behaving like totally different characters.
Yeah. It's okay. The Justice League was released and it failed. Totally failed. And from here you had enter Hamada. Walter Hamada was the new guy who was going to oversee the DCEU. So everything from here on, Aquaman and out is the Hamada-verse.
And the Hamada-verse was his vision was very different than Snyder's vision, right? He didn't like the Snyderverse.
No, he has done everything in his power to bury the Snyderverse, and that was
damn you, Hamada! Damn you!
And he was going to fix everything with The Flash, which was supposed to be released many years ago, but postponed.
Yes,
for multiple reasons. The Flash movie was supposed to be a soft reboot,
of the universe. Yeah.
Flash would try to fix his past by saving his mom, just like in Flashpoint comics. But
this reminds me of the Flashpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But instead of when he was returning to his time, instead of entering the Flashpoint verse, which he enters in the comics, he enters the Burton verse.
Ah, yes.
So he would meet up with the Batman from the 80s with Michael Keaton as Batman. Yeah. Sounds awesome. But
I'm Batman.
Yeah. But like in the comics, the Flashpoint, he only stays here until he has his powers back. Because with all the travel, he loses his powers. So he only stays in the Flashpoint verse until he has his powers back. Which would mean that he would return to the universe where his Batman was still Batman.
Yeah.
For us, this would mean Ben
Affleck.
But in this movie, when he was going to fix things, he kind of merged the universes. So things from the Snyderverse and things from the new Hamada-verse would collide.
Yeah.
And Michael Keaton would from now on be the new Batman. So this would be his fix. Like,
I mean, there's more to this.
Yeah, so he could pick and choose from.
And who was he planning to choose from where and what?
Yeah, okay. So also in this Flash movie, he would enter a new world where Kal-El never came to Earth. Zod would already have killed baby Kal-El. So that would mean no Superman. Instead, the Earth would have Supergirl.
Oh, Supergirl.
Yeah.
This doesn't smell agenda at all.
No agenda at all.
Okay, but Supergirl, that's cool. What else?
So she would be the new face of, or at least
the new super person.
The new Kryptonian of the DCEU. So yeah.
And then we had Wonder Woman staying from the Snyderverse.
Yeah, would still be Wonder Woman, Jason Momoa, and Ezra Miller as the Flash.
Yes.
Everybody else gone. Ray Fisher.
And we would also have another Bat person in this universe, in addition to Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Who would probably be the one taking the mantle as Bat person.
Yeah, I think Michael Keaton's Batman would
be the
have
mentor.
Been mentoring
exactly.
Batgirl as the new Bat person.
So we would have... I mean... I'm probably totally wrong, but it kind of sounds like there was an agenda to just push forward the women of the DCverse.
The new Justice League would have been
very female.
Batgirl, Supergirl, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, The Flash,
but
Shazam.
The three big ones.
Yeah, the three big ones. Yeah.
But I mean, it was probably like a coincidence and had nothing to do with. The message.
No message at all. No.
Okay, moving on.
All right, so moving on. As we know, The Flash would have been released.
When was it supposed to be released originally? 2-3 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most likely. But It was postponed for many various reasons, but we do know that now there has been a lot of new stuff surrounding the movie that has
probably more stuff until we have finished this video.
Yeah. I don't know.
No, not anymore.
Not anymore. I think things have calmed down now. But okay, this movie was supposed to have been released by now. So that means that the Batgirl movie
would come after the Flash.
After the Flash.
This is important.
Because, as we know, Michael Keaton would from now on be the new Batman. But since then, the Flash movie has been postponed. So having Michael Keaton as Batman in Batgirl would make no sense at all. So
you can't have the Batgirl movie coming out like that because there's no explanation.
No explanation why Michael Keaton is there instead of Ben Affleck.
Are there other characters in the Batgirl movie as well that would have been here by now if the Flash movie had come out, except for Keaton?
We have the Gordon from the Justice League.
Yeah.
J.K. Simmons as Gordon.
So that wouldn't make sense either.
Yeah, Batman would have been older than...
Yeah. than
Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
So there's that. Other movies that was supposed to be released after The Flash was, of course, Aquaman 2. The Lost Kingdom, I think it's called. And this movie also had scenes with
Michael Keaton.
So going back a couple of months, or 1 month, right before Comic-Con, WB announced reshoots. Not the reshoots everybody was waiting for, because everybody was waiting for them to reshoot all the mirror scenes featuring Amber Heard. Because there's a lot of shit going.
Yeah. But people, you guys are probably updated on the Amber Heard situation with Johnny Depp and the court and everything.
Yeah, so people want to cancel Amber.
Yes, they want her out of the franchise.
Yeah.
And out of the upcoming projects.
So people have been waiting for them to reshoot her scenes for a long time. But this hasn't happened. She is most likely done after Aquaman 2 anyway. So I won't be boycotting the movie just because of Amber Heard.
Yeah.
But I do hope that there's still time, so I do hope that they
reshoot it.
Yeah,
that would be the best.
Yeah. But they did some reshoots.
They announced what reshoots, right?
Yeah. They would replace Michael Keaton's Batman scenes with Ben Affleck, since the movie was now before The Flash.
So that they can release it, of course. Which makes sense.
Yeah. Already, now I knew, not by any source, but I had a hunch that this would affect Batgirl as well. Because this movie is also now set before The Flash. But for this, we had, before any news surrounding Batgirl, we had Comic-Con, where Marvel had this full slate of movies being name dropped, like the whole Phase 5 and 6.
Finally done with Phase 4. 4.
So of course,
wait, was it Phase Snore?
Yeah.
Sorry,
puns. So of course, the DC fans weren't expecting anything less from the DC, because DC was also now under new management, because by now Discovery had bought up WB.
Important,
because this has a lot of
repercussions.
Yeah. people were expecting to see Black Adam. They were expecting to see Shazam 2, Aquaman 2, The Flash, the Batgirl trailer, Blue Beetle, the restoration of Snyderverse, maybe release the Ayer cut of Justice League. There were so many things. And of course, the return of Henry Cavill. This was things everybody was expecting.
Yeah.
But Comic-Con, DC Day, what do we get? All right. Everything we expected was minimized to Black Adam and Shazam 2. Not a word about anything else. Henry Cavill, no. Snyderverse, no. Aquaman 2 and The Flash, which already had released trailers before. No. Of course, I understood.
You knew what it was
I knew what was going on, because there was a lot of stuff surrounding Ezra Miller, which made it hard for them to promote the movie. They had a lot of shit to figure out. And the same thing for Aquaman 2 with Amber Heard.
And just very briefly, we don't need to go too detailed into this, but just explain some of the stuff that has happened with Ezra Miller since the pandemic and since all the escalation of all this madness.
There's been at least 3 reported attacks where Ezra Miller has attacked people in Iceland, Hawaii, and
at first they tried to cover a lot of this up and hush it down and
But as things escalated, there was he had started a cult, or at least that's what they said. But it was only one woman and her children, and he was harboring them from.
They were harboring.
They were. Ezra Miller is a they, so them they. Okay, they were harboring this woman and her kids. From her husband, or ex-husband, or whatever.
And Ezra Miller was also breaking into people's houses in addition to that? Or
was there was reported...
not a very stable person.
No.
So,
So, of course, it was hard for WB to promote The Flash during Corona. Comic-Con. Coffee, please.
Yeah. Don't mind if I do.
Okay, so, fans, they were so upset. How could DC do this when Marvel had all this? But...
And how could they announce some of the movies? Well, this other movie that has been in the plans for so long, nothing new.
No, nothing. And again... It made so much sense. And also the thing, why weren't there any Batgirl trailer? This movie was completed. So why didn't we get anything there? And of course, then the bomb dropped a couple of days later, which started making more sense. But I already knew that the things with Batgirl would happen. They couldn't promote Aquaman and The Flash with all this.
And they probably didn't want to do that until they knew for sure what they were going to do with Aquaman and the reshoots and everything. It makes sense.
And also, with Discovery now being the new owners, there was a lot of mess in the DCEU to fix. So it made sense not to do too much promotion. They have to figure out what to do. So,
was there any new person involved in this?
David Zaslav, the new WB president.
And did Zaslav did he have the same kind of vision as Hamada?
Zaslav, he knew that DC, this is a money-making machine done right.
Done right.
So...
Not done left. Wrong.
Done right, DC is a big money-making machine. So one of the first things that now happened was the cancellation of Batgirl.
And this got a lot of bad reactions.
A lot of bad reactions. Even like before all of this, people were crying out, restore the Snyderverse. And now they're finally deleting a movie that would
ruin kill the Snyderverse.
But still, people were upset.
People are always upset.
I understand.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for Leslie Grace, Brendan Fraser's big return.
Yeah, that's really bad. And all the people involved in the movie, of course. That's really bad.
But
I mean, another way to look at this, as you pointed out earlier when we had this discussion in another try, where you said this might actually be good because they might be dodging a bullet.
Yeah. And Zaslow, he wants to do big budget movies, not direct to streaming movies. Batgirl was a direct to streaming movie, and that was. If you've seen pictures from the movies, cheap costumes, and that made sense for Batgirl's costume. She's not a rich person like Bruce Wayne, but Batman's suit looked. Michael Keaton's suit looked so bad.
Yeah.
So that didn't make any sense at all. But okay, so the movie looked cheap. It scored bad with test audience. Michael Keaton being there as Batman instead of Ben Affleck when The Flash hadn't been released yet. And also, like WB themselves claim, it was a tax thing.
Do you think that's just their excuse? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
But also, there's another theory. Once you go woke, you go broke. And
then you choke.
And Zaslow, he wants to make money. He doesn't want to lose money.
Yeah.
So
Zaslow is kind of done with Hamada's woke vision, and he doesn't want to restore the Snyderverse, but he wants to
at least build on the idea around
Zack
Snyder's universe.
And I think that's great.
It's great.
That's really good news.
Ben Affleck is coming back, and Zaslow himself has announced that he wants to focus on the big three, which is Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman.
You think we'll get Henry Cavill back?
Hopefully,
yeah.
But he has a lot of stuff going on.
He got a lot on his plate.
Highlander, The Witcher,
James Bond, maybe?
Maybe James Bond. I don't think so, but I wouldn't mind him as James Bond. He has this.
You don't think you think he's more fitting for the role than Idris Elba?
There's nobody else more fit than Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
I don't like people name drop Tom Hardy. I think he's too
rough.
He's too rough.
We're totally sized.
Tom Hiddleston, he's too puny.
Yeah.
So
we'll see what happens with Henry Cavill. Hopefully he'll come back.
Hopefully he'll be
Superman.
back.
Yeah.
But if they have to recast, I don't.
It's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world as long as they try to at least build up to at least the ideas Snyder had around Justice League 2 and 3.
And I think since we have Wonder Woman and Ben Affleck and what's Wonder Woman's name again?
Gal
Gadot. If they're reprising the role, there is at least a tiny hope that maybe Cavill will come on board.
Yeah, but I think WB hasn't been good to him.
No, not at all.
So I think...
But everything's possible.
But there's a new boss, so maybe it would be easier to get him around.
Yeah. Okay, let's continue.
So that's what's going on in DC land right now.
And I mean, this makes a lot more sense once you know these things. Then the cancellation of Batgirl makes a lot more sense.
It does,
as you already knew.
Yeah, or had a hunch about at least. So moving forward,
what can we expect?
What can we expect? Okay, there's some movies already on the way. Black Adam is out in October.
We should watch that together.
We have
I will make a video of it afterwards.
Shazam 2 in December, but I think it will be pushed back at least a month or two.
Yeah.
Because this movie is released the same day as Avatar 2.
Oh.
But still, is anybody still expecting Avatar
to be good at this point?
Does anybody wait for this movie too?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Avatar is that big of.
Well, it's James Cameron, so we never know.
Yeah.
But okay, so it might be pushed back even further. But we have at least Shazam 2, Black Adam,
Aquaman 2, The Flash will be released. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. News
around The Flash. So.
Newsflash.
So with everything surrounding Ezra Miller, Warner Brothers had to do something. And they came up with 3 options. Number 1, Ezra Miller has to come around, seek help, do a public announcement about
explain
what's going on with them. And then apologize. And fans and the studio and people
he beat
involved with the movie. And do limited promotion around the movie.
That was option 1.
And
then we had option 2.
Option 2 was release the movie, but keep Ezra Miller out of all the promotion.
Yeah. Use the other actors.
Use Michael Keaton, Supergirl,
And last time we talked about this, we were talking about like what should they do, what would be the best course, should they go for this option, that option, maybe a mix of the options.
Yeah,
and that is changed now.
Yeah, because.
But let's continue first with option 3 before we reveal anything else.
And also, of course, after the movie's release, cut cords with Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
And option number 3, cancel.
Everything.
Cancel a $2 million movie. And that was just...
$2 million.
$2 million.
Isn't it? I thought it was even more.
But maybe. I don't know. Of course, that doesn't make sense.
No.
They already lost $90 million on canceling Batgirl. And so...
Yeah. And
so I had my own personal suggestion to what they could do. And this was before
we knew what we know now.
Yeah, before we knew. And that was go for option number 2. Of course, I wanted Ezra Miller to
give an explanation, seek help, and apologize.
So, combination between 1 and 2. Go for number 2. Keep Ezra Miller out of the promotion. Push Michael Keaton, push Ben Affleck, push Sasha Calle in front of the movie, even though I have mixed feelings about the Sasha Calle thing. But still, that's better than using Ezra Miller.
Yeah.
And of course...
better than just scrapping everything and just leave it dead.
And I also suggested change the title. Call it the Batman Paradox or... something else, not involving the Flash's name. Of course, when the movie would be released, it would still be the Flash movie, but with less...
and maybe more scenes with the other
characters. And do additional scenes, which they are doing now with Ben Affleck. Which means they are changing the ending of the movie. The Flash will most likely return to his universe.
Yes, but what happened since last time we tried to do this video? So what is the newest news on Ezra Miller now?
Yeah, Ezra Miller finally stepped up, gave an explanation.
Said they would seek help.
Said they would seek help, apologized, and so it seems like the studio went for option number one. Like if Ezra did it by themselves, or if the studio pushed, doesn't matter. Ezra is doing
hard time.
Ezra is doing the right
thing, yeah.
And you can say whatever you want about it. It's just them trying to save face, but
them as the studio or them as Ezra? You're getting confused.
Ezra. Oh, okay. And of course, they are trying to save their face, but still, they have done what was expected. And
so it'll be at least moving forward, and they're not canceling the...
They're not canceling the movie. Of course, some news started popping up suggesting that Affleck was doing what he did with Aquaman 2 and reshooting all of Michael Keaton's scenes. But that doesn't make any sense at all. That would change the whole movie. So I think they're just changing the ending of the movie with the Flash coming back to his Batman. Because Zaslow has said that he liked the movie. It's a good movie. So it doesn't make any sense to change the Michael Keaton storyline.
No. And also,
but
he wants to make money, and he knows that if you have still Michael Keaton attached to the project, it'll make more money. That just makes totally sense.
And he has also announced that he has a 10-year plan for the DCEU.
Yeah.
So this means that changing the ending of the movie so it fits the future of the DCEU.
And he's trying to also get somebody on board to do what
so
Feige did with Marvel.
Yeah, so he has gotten the guy who got
Kevin
Feige for Marvel. He has gotten this guy out of retirement.
Who is this guy?
Alan Horn. I'm not too familiar with his work, but I know that this is a competent guy who knows his stuff. He's not there to be Kevin Feige, but he's there to help finding the new, or not the new Feige. It's the DC's showrunner.
Yeah. And they'll have a good strategy moving forward.
Yeah, not only DC, but WB movies in general, like the Harry Potter universe and
the other movie franchises they have.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And of course, there's been a couple of names dropped, like Greg Berlanti, who is the showrunner behind the Arrowverse. I'm not saying that would be bad, but...
That's very woke.
Yeah, but the Arrowverse started out good as well. The Arrow had a couple of good seasons before it turned really bad. The Flash had a 1.5 good season before it turned bad.
Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
But that doesn't mean that this is the guy who made all the decisions.
That's also true.
He's just overseeing and building the universe. So at least he's competent in building a universe.
Might have been out of his hands, the direction with the Arrowverse. We don't know.
No.
But yeah,
Yeah. So moving on, what do we have? Like we said, Aquaman 2, The Flash. But we also have Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle also is coming out still.
And that was supposed to be a direct-to-streaming movie like Batgirl. But Somewhere down the line, they figured that we're spending in a little bit more money and pushing it for the big screen instead.
That's cool.
But after the cancellation of Batgirl, people were still, oh, please don't cancel, please don't cancel. But they have finally given a release date instead.
On the Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
When?
I think it's... I don't remember if it's March or August 2023.
All right. But this is pretty... That's a lot of good news. We have some cool upcoming DC movies, and we don't need to be too scared of what's going to happen moving forward. You don't need to worry that Flash and all the projects are going to be cancelled.
If any announced projects will be cancelled, it's because they downright suck. Zaslow wants to make money. That's there's also a couple of DC movies not set in the DCEU, like the Joker and the Batman. Joker 2 has been announced.
And these were also Hamada projects. Somewhat. Both the Joker and the Batman were under Hamada. So there might be a change of tone in those movies as well. We don't know.
Yeah, I know there will be a big change in Joker 2.
Yeah.
They have cast Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn, which is actually a pretty good casting. But there are news, or at least rumors surrounding the movie, suggesting that this will be a musical.
That's true.
It could work. And if you've seen the Joker, it makes sense. When you see him in his own world, you see him dancing. And so
let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
Okay.
The Batman 2 hasn't been greenlit yet.
That is true. So that might not even happen.
Matt Reeves is contracted to the movie, but it's still in script.
Are you saying we might be lucky enough to get a Ben Affleck Batman movie in the future?
We might.
That would be really cool.
Since they're doing a lot of reshoots with Ben Affleck, we might have the actual Ben Affleck movie that we didn't get. The one we didn't get with Deathstroke.
That would be so cool. Anyway, this is. I think we're at. I think we're where we need to be, and we're. You guys are probably updated now on most of the stuff.
All I say is I think DC has a bright future.
I think it has a way brighter future now than it did before Zaslow.
And I think they have a much brighter future than the MCU.
I mean, where do you go with the MCU after Endgame?
Or MCU.
I mean, that is one thing, but also after Endgame, it's kind of like done.
Endgame was Endgame.
Endgame there's nothing. I'm not excited anymore.
No.
So this is a good entry point for DC to come in and like, hey, you're done with that? Here we have lots of cool, cool stuff to show you guys. So let's see what happens. Anyway, this was our video on all the newest things going on with DC, Marvel, and now Warner Brothers, and upcoming movies. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you, Pål, for coming on, and
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. It's always nice, and you're such a knowledgeable guy on DC, but just in general, you're a very cool and all-round nerd. Love having you on the show. All right.
Cheers.
Cheers, and stay tuned, guys. We're going to do some more videos in the future. We plan to do...
we will cover the DCU from Man of Steel.
We will probably do 2 videos, one covering the DC movies up to the DCEU, and then we can go through all the DCU movies as well. So stay tuned for that. And thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment on your thoughts about the whole crazy mess that is DC. And what do you think about the future of DC? Thanks, guys. Take care. Adios. My coffee's cold.
Thank you.